Hare Krishna, Saurabh. Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to another special class on Srila Prabhupada. So I hope you all got the information that today is the disappearance day of Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhant Saraswati Goswami. Did anyone of you observe half-day fasting till 12 o'clock? Vinita, Bhagyashri, two people. Okay, very good. Hari Bol. It's easy. 12 fasting till 12 o'clock is very easy. More people should try. So let's begin our class. Nandini also has to say something after the class, maybe. Her video is also off. So let's begin our class. Prayers to Srila Prabhupada. I offer my respects to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who's very dear to Lord Krishna. O spiritual master, I offer my respects to you, your servant of your Guru, Saraswati Goswami. You are kindly preaching the message of Lord Chaitanya and delivering in the Western countries. Pachitattva mantra. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण मंत्र हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री प्रभुपाद की जय. Okay, so in our last class, we learned that Srila Prabhupada is already reached New York in a cargo ship, and while he was traveling, he had two heart attacks. And but after that, he dreamt that Krishna came and had taken charge of that ship, and he said, "You need not worry, I'm here." And then he goes and stays in the house of the person who had sponsored him. Their names was Sally and Gopal. And we also shared pictures of how Prabhupada was cooking, and he continued his preaching services in such a new country. And now, at the end of the class, we learned that now Prabhupada is moving to New York. So, with today's class, we'll begin from Prabhupada's arrival in New York. Okay. So, Prabhupada actually, when he reached the city of New York, he he did not know actually many people. He just had one contact, and that also some very distant person through some distant uh, person. He had this person's contact, so that when he goes to a new city, at least somebody should be there. So he goes and meets this person. His name is Dr. Mishra. Now, Dr. Mishra actually also was a sannyasi, but he was not like Prabhupada. He was different attire. He would wear pant shirt, and his philosophy was very different. He would preach not about Krishna, but he would say that all of us are like God. Like each of you who are sitting here, each individual is identical, is like same like God. So there is no need to worship God separately. So means we all have same qualities as Krishna. So if we worship ourselves, if if we contemplate, if we focuses on our own quality and we meditate, then it is as good as worshipping Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada did not accept this philosophy, and eventually he moved out of Dr. Mishra's apartment. So actually, Dr. Mishra had welcomed Prabhupada, and he said, "You can stay in my apartment." But after some time, when he understood what Dr. Mishra was preaching, although he was also an Indian and Prabhupada was also an Indian. So when Prabhupada understood that this person's philosophy is not accepting Krishna as Supreme Lord, there was a lot of arguments and discussion about this topic, but eventually Prabhupada did not like this kind of philosophy and he moved out of that apartment. So he actually uh, lived in the same building, but 2 floors down, like same building, but he took a apartment there with the help of Dr. Mishra only. Now, Prabhupada was observing that how there is lot of scope of preaching in America, in Western countries about Krishna. But the very thing that was missing is that he did not have a proper place. He had no money. He had no support from anybody. So his guru actually had many other disciples also, like Prabhupada's guru, and he had many disciples, and he had sent many people also earlier to Western countries. His Guru Maharaj had sent also other people that you go out of India and preach, but they could not spread Krishna consciousness. So now Prabhupada wrote many letters to these other devotees, other disciples of his Guru Maharaj. So, I mean, you are understanding, like there is a guru, and below that guru, there are many disciples. So, similarly, Prabhupada's guru also had many disciples. So, one disciple was Prabhupada, right? So, Prabhupada, when he went out and he saw that how people are having good places, like this Dr. Mishra had a good center, he had a good place to live and to preach. But Prabhupada had nowhere to stay, he had no money, he was simply struggling. So he wrote letters. In earlier days, there was not great facility of, making a telephone call. So Prabhupada wrote letters to the president of all these disciples, and he said, "I have come to this country, and
Sorry, Mataji,
I
you said
want to preach
Prabhupada
because
wrote a letter to the President of America?
no, no, not president of America. See, there is a word called Gaudiya Mutt. I don't know how you're going to sign Gaudiya under Gaudiya Mutt. Lot of
Yet.
it actually is in
Where is that
Bengal.
word?
It is
Can we
like
put
an
it on the chat,
organization.
Mataji? Can we put it on the chat?
I'll just type it. I'll just type it. So it's a kind of an organization started by Guru Maharaj of Srila Prabhupada. I think people who are living in Bengal would know this, Gaudiya Mutt. So what was happening was in this Gaudiya Mutt, after Prabhupada's Guru left this earth, they were all fighting among themselves for leadership. So there was no unity in them. And Prabhupada said that we should all be united. We should all try to preach about Krishna. We should stay united. But they all were looking for leadership. They were all looking for power. So when Prabhupada goes out, he writes letter to the president of Gaudiya Mutt. And he says that there is lot of scope of preaching here. We should all, remain united and we should open a center I need support. I need help. So Prabhupada said that I need help from all of you. There is a lot of potential of preaching about Krishna in the West, in America. But after some time, he got the reply from the president saying that I like what you're doing, but we cannot use the money for this purpose. So basically, he refused that we can't help you. So Prabhupada actually obeyed the order of his spiritual master, and at such a old age, he was closing 70 years. He left everything and he came to this country where he didn't even know anybody. And here, in comparison, people in India, we call
Mga
it God
kaibigan,
brothers.
mahina po. Dati ka mo may lubisono na po kayo may sutorotan. Di numero, tawin mero po mga ang anak po ang next of
So Prabhupada wanted a lot of support, but in India, same. We call them in ISKCON we call it as God brothers. God brothers means uh, disciples of the same guru. Like one guru is there, and under him, lot of disciples are there. So they will call each other as God brother. So Prabhupada wrote to these God brothers, but nobody helped him. Nobody came forward to support him. So, but Prabhupada was very strong-willed and he was very focused. He got very sad when he did not get any positive reply, but then he continued his own efforts. He said that, we can open centers in many cities only if they cooperate. If people in India, if his God brothers cooperate, then we can do very well in spreading Krishna consciousness. He says there are people in America like Dr. Mishra, but their philosophy is not correct. They're not spreading the message of Lord Chaitanya. They have very, very nice centers, preaching centers, but their philosophy is wrong. But anyways, so Prabhupada requested, he said we should have our own building, we should have our own center. I'm alone, I'm without money, I have no support. I need her help so that we can fulfill the dream and desire of our guru. But nothing happened. No help came. Anyways, Prabhupada continued his journey, and despite all its difficulties and struggles, Prabhupada always depended upon Krishna. Definitely he wanted to give a temple to Radha and Krishna in New York. Whether somebody accepts him, whether somebody is not accepting him, whether people are not supporting or not supporting him. But he had full faith in his guru. He had full faith in Krishna. And so Prabhupada continued his efforts in translating Srimad Bhagavatam. And every day he was doing translation work. Every day he was preparing food and offering to Krishna. Every day, whoever he was meeting, he was trying to talk about Krishna. So as I said that earlier, that later on Srila Prabhupada moved 2 floors down where Dr. Mishra was living, the same building. And this place was not like a resident or ashram or any lecture hall. It was a very small, narrow office. It had no furniture, no telephone. I
Where
mean,
is this, Mataji?
this is in New York only, same place where Dr. Mishra was living, below his apartment. 2 floors below his apartment, where Dr. Mishra was living. Want me to
So
type anything?
you're saying Prabhupada at his home only opened an office? Is that what you're saying?
No, he just with Dr. Mishra's help, he got some space. Dr. Mishra helped him. Okay, you go and live down in 2 floors down.
Yes, yes. That was you. We signed that already.
Yeah,
But this office you're saying, is it the same place?
yeah, it's the same place. It was not like an office. So I'm, in detail explaining about that place. It
No,
looked
no.
very poor.
For the interpretation, I need because I'm placing it right before you said Dr. Mishra lived above and he helped Prabhupada get a flat 2 floors below. So I'm signing that he's living 2 floors below. So
Yeah,
now the
same
office,
place.
where is it? It's in the same
Okay,
place,
same
or
place. So we are talking about the same place only.
so the home only he's opened an office, right?
Right,
Small,
right, right.
not an office, but a
Very
room for
small.
people.
Very small single room, not a, you can't call it even a full-fledged apartment. So this apartment was, it was a small room and it had very poor living conditions. But Prabhupada started giving classes 3 times a week because he had developed some contacts through Dr. Mishra, and some people, youngsters, started coming and attending Prabhupada's classes. Now, one day, while Prabhupada was out of his room, somebody broke into his room. Means a thief came and he stole his typewriter, his tape recorder. So, what is the use that Prabhupada, would speak on the on the tape recorder, and he would record in his own voice the lectures. And whatever translation he was doing on Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, he would type it on a typewriter. So when Prabhupada returned to the building, he saw that somebody had broken into the room and stolen away everything. So as Prabhupada, listening, he was looking at there was a caretaker of the building. So that caretaker was explaining that how somebody came and, broke into your room and he stole away these things. So Prabhupada was convinced that this caretaker only is responsible for this theft. Of course, there was no way that he could prove it. So with disappointment, he accepted the loss. And some of those friends who were, regularly coming for his classes, they offered replacements. They said, we will buy you a new tape recorder and we'll buy you a new typewriter also. But Prabhupada had become very, very dejected. He became very sad because imagine an old man trying to preach in a Western country at that age, having no money of his own, no place, no proper place to live. How, and on top of it, your stuff, your, things that your most important items through which you are, spreading Krishna consciousness, that is also stolen. So imagine, put yourself in his shoes and see how difficult his journey must have been. So Prabhupada did not want to go back again to that place because there was no surety that how do you know that theft will not happen again. So those who were regularly coming to his class, they suggested that we will get your in place. It's a Bauri. Bauri, I will explain what it is. So Bauri actually, it is like a shelter home for those who are poor and homeless. It is considered to be a very corrupt place in the world, and actually, it is not a place where a gentleman or a person with good background should live. It was occupied by homeless people. So because homeless means they will have nowhere else to go, so they would loiter on the street, they would stand on the sidewalks, and in cold weather they will have no clothes. So I'm basically explaining how what kind of people live there in those places. In cold weather, such people will have no clothes, proper clothes to wear, And sometimes, they want to keep themselves warm, so they'll put a fire and they will sleep near a garbage can. So a lot of violence will take place in such areas, a lot of crime will happen, a lot of corruption, a lot of basically a very sad and very, very sad and ugly place to live in. But Prabhupada didn't have choice. Already he was living at a comfortable place, little comfortable place, when somebody broke and stole away his things. Now he's gone to another place which is worse than the earlier place. It is a place for the homeless people. It had, we call it a very, very pathetic condition of living. But imagine, Srila Prabhupada did not depend on his surroundings for shelter. Home for him was not like a good, beautiful house of bricks and wood. For him, home means taking shelter of Krishna in every circumstances. So imagine we people, we get so disturbed when something happens in our life. We become so sad. But here is an old man who has nothing in his belonging, no money in his pocket. He is moving from one place to another. And in such bad, can we imagine ourselves living in such a condition? Absolute poor, homeless people will go and live in such place. And Prabhupada went and lived in that place. But by Krishna's mercy, he found a man who had, he was a musician. So he had a loft, and he said, "Okay, I will let Prabhupada live there." So obviously he didn't take any money for that because he was coming and attending his classes.
Sorry,
So
sorry, Mataji. Loft?
basically, how do you call it? Like a room, but like an attic.
So at the top,
Ba-
right?
ba-
At the top of the
Yeah, at
building.
the top. Yeah, yeah, yeah. At the top of the building. Yeah, like a bird, like a top of the building.
And this is a student of the same class who is a musician, and he
Yeah,
offers.
yeah, yeah. Correct, correct, correct. However, so this place, this person had given to Prabhupada on a sharing basis. So there was another boy. He was around 20, 21 years old, and he was also living with Prabhupada in the same place. And his name was David Allen. So owner was separate. He was a musician. He gave this house, this loft, to these two people, Prabhupada and David, in joint.
I'm sorry, Mataji. David Allen is not the musician, right?
No, no, no. He said, I will let Prabhupada live here, but in joint. Like two people can live in the same place.
And this attic is that musician's person? No, something else.
Yeah, yeah. Attic is belongs to that musician, and he said, I will rent it. I will give it to these two people. You can share the place and live together.
And this musician is the student of Prabhupada's class,
Right,
correct?
right, right, right. So this David is also a student only. All are coming for his classes only.
Okay, 2 seconds, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes.
So life was started getting little settled, and Prabhupada, as we all know, that he was so focused that he did not bother about where he was living, whether it was dirty, whether it was, uh, a very corrupt place. But Prabhupada was very focused that he wanted to spread Krishna consciousness. So he started, taking classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, And sometimes he would also teach cooking to whoever was interested. Cooking is for Krishna is different, right? We don't use onion, garlic. And in America, cooking will be very different. They will be more dependent on non-veg food. So here, Prabhupada was also teaching them how to cook and offer it to Krishna. And he was always available for anybody. He was clearing doubts about Krishna. So whatever way possible, he was trying his best, to make those people who were so fallen, who were so corrupt in so many ways, and he was trying to make them Krishna consciousness. So basically, this new place where Prabhupada had gone, many of them were addicted to drugs. So that was another reason that this place was so in such a bad condition. So those people who were taking drugs were also coming to Prabhupada. Right? So everything was going fine, and Prabhupada was taking classes, teaching cooking. Now, this boy who was living with Prabhupada, David, he was very much interested in advancing Hare Krishna. Yes, we are back. Okay, so I was saying that this David, he lost control and he started screaming and howling. And Prabhupada tried to, pacify him, calm him down. But he saw that his madness was increasing. And Prabhupada thought that I have no choice but to immediately leave the place because he had become very dangerous. So Prabhupada did not even pick up any of his belongings. He didn't pick up his clothes or his typewriter or his, whatever belongings, little belongings that he had, clothes, whatever, he did not pick up anything. He immediately rushed out of the place because there was no time to consider anything. Prabhupada was in a shock and now he was leaving the area because of David's madness. And suddenly, once again, he was homeless as any other homeless person on the street. And then Prabhupada, he writes in a kind of a poem of that, he's talking to Krishna that because of your will, I have come here. So it is, I leave myself totally on your mercy. If there's something I have to do here, please let that happen. So we see in Prabhupada's personality that how even in such difficult conditions, he is not blaming, like how most often we blame when something happens, that why did God do that to me? Why did this happen to me? But Prabhupada was so surrendered to Krishna that, he says there must be some purpose. because of which you have brought me here, Lord. So please guide me, please show me the right direction. Imagine an old man in a country which is so cold, homeless, no money, and that was the condition at that time Prabhupada was in. So he also felt that, because I have no support from any government organization or my own god brothers, I have no support. That is why I'm totally insecure and I'm totally vulnerable. But he had 100% faith still on Krishna. He had faith on his Guru. Because we learn from Bhagavad Gita that we must seek only one person's protection, and that is Krishna. And then Prabhupada makes a call, and there was another, uh, person who would attend his classes, and this person's name is Carl. And Prabhupada calls this person, and when that person heard Prabhupada's voice, he understood that Prabhupada was in a very difficult situation. It was a kind of an emergency, and he came immediately and rescued Prabhupada.
Sorry, Mataji, I missed a little bit. You said Carl, how did they connect Prabhupada?
Prabhupada called him from somewhere, like a phone. Telephone had already come, so Prabhupada had his phone number.
He
So
found
Prabhupada
his phone number.
he made a public call. He went to some shop and he made a public call, like from a public booth. He made a call. So we presume that Prabhupada would be having some kind of a diary, small diary in his pocket, where he would keep all these contacts. So that much of detail I do not have with me. But I think Prabhupada would be having some important numbers with him in his small diary in his pocket. So he called up this person, and this person knew Prabhupada because he would also sometimes come in his classes. And Prabhupada felt that he can help me. So that person understood that there is some emergency and he came immediately and helped out Prabhupada. So after that, Prabhupada lived in his house with his wife. He was married and with both of them for some time in his family. And then after that, the place that came where moved on finally is the place where the first ISKCON center was established. So it was actually a store, like how a shop.
Sorry,
So
Mataji. So I'm sorry, I missed a little bit. Carl is married and he invites Prabhupada to his home to stay.
to his home, that till the time we find you a suitable place, you come and live in our house. And after that, stayed with Carl for quite some time. And after a lot of searching and searching, and there were other devotees, other people also involved who knew Prabhupada. And Carl was making calls to a lot of people that how this Swami from India, he's looking for a place to stay. And that is when finally Prabhupada got a place. It was a small shop, and it was a store basically. And behind that, so he had two places. One was for preaching purposes, for taking class. There was a small store. It's like a small shop. And behind that, Prabhupada also got to have a place to stay. It was an apartment on second floor. And so finally, that is what is the final place where Prabhupada went. And that is the place which was established later on as the first center of ISKCON. So imagine all this while Prabhupada is almost close to a year, he's there in New York, but there was no sign of a permanent, there was no ISKCON until that time. Nothing was established by that time. So let me share a picture of this place. So you can see there is a big glass window, and next to that there is a door. And coincidentally, this what it is written on top. If anybody could read, it was written as Matchless Gift. If anybody could read, they would have seen one
Sorry,
white. It was
Mataji, was
written.
it in red? There was Hare Krishna temple was written there.
Below that there was something called Matchless Gift. I'll just share again. So this Matchless Gift actually was already written before Prabhupada got the place. So when that owner also had some shop there, and the shop's name was Matchless Gift. So Prabhupada continued that, and now you will see that wherever is you will go in ISKCON, all these gift shops will have the same name, Matchless Gift. So Prabhupada really liked that name, and he continued with this name. Even in today,
Sorry,
all
sorry,
ISKCON
Mataji,
centers.
for the interpretation. This is a shop, and the shop's name is Matchless Gift.
Right, right. So when he got it from the owner, no, when he took it on rent, this name was already written, Matchless Gifts.
No, no, sorry, Mataji. The office is on the second floor or that
No,
ground floor
the
shop?
the ground floor shop is the temple.
Okay.
It was converted
And
into
his
a temple.
office?
No office. There was no need for an office.
No, you had
Temple.
said right, there were two places. One place was his place, and behind that there was where
Behind
he was
that was the
living.
residence. He lived there.
So it's not behind, it's on the second floor.
Behind the shop on the second floor. Like, you know how it is, like, if I can make it understand, like there is a shop. Behind that, there is a
Shop is on the
corridor
ground floor, right, Mataji?
on the ground floor. Then
Okay.
behind that, there is like a courtyard.
There.
Yeah, not stair. There is a courtyard. Behind the shop, there is a courtyard. And then
Huh?
there is an apartment building.
Okay.
On the second floor is I have not visited, I have just read from the book. If
No,
I
no, I
visit, I will
understand
be
that,
able to,
Mataji. It's just
yeah.
that I am understanding so that I can interpret it clearly.
Yeah,
Because
so see,
below that, I'm staying on the second floor. There he's staying, and behind that, there's an office. But it's different, right? He's somewhere else. In the ground floor is the temple, and upstairs is where he is living. Correct?
right, right, correct, correct,
Okay,
correct.
just a second, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. We can
Yeah.
continue.
So Prabhupada, on this glass that you just saw, glass window, Prabhupada put a big poster of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And
No, no, sorry, Mataji, 1 minute. That matchless gift thing is also left, right? We were still now understanding the place. Now I have to
yeah,
talk
okay.
about
Yeah.
matchless
So
gift.
when Prabhupada got this place, this Matchless Gift name was already written by the previous owner. It was a gift shop, like earlier. When the owner gave this on rent to Prabhupada, this Matchless Gift was already written there. So Prabhupada liked that name so much that he continued that name. And now today, those of you who have visited ISKCON, uh, if you can read, you will see that the shops which are there in ISKCON, the gift shops or where you got all, your mala bags, beads or books, if all the stores will have only one name, and that is Matchless Gift. So the name continued even now. Any ISKCON center, the shop, gift shop name will be same, Matchless Gifts.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. Done. We can
Yeah.
continue.
So then Prabhupada put a poster on the glass that, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 to 9, Bhagavad Gita classes. So he started, now he got a little better place to live, and he felt that I think I can, this probably would be a place where I can actually settle down finally and spread Krishna consciousness. But again, this journey is not so easy, because all those people who were coming to attend his classes were all drug addicts. They were hippies. I don't know how will I explain this word hippies. Hippies were more like rebellious kind of people who rebel anything that is happening in society, and they would be on drugs. And so to convert those kind of people into devotees is the challenge which Prabhupada faced, and that was a very big challenge for him. I'm just looking for a picture so that they can understand. I'll just share a picture. So basically, this was the kind of crowd which was coming and attending Prabhupada's classes. And from these kind of people came the first lot of Prabhupada's disciples who actually became first class Brahmanas. Prabhupada power, Krishna's mercy was so much that he converted this kind of people who were into illicit sex and people who are into drugs. And so these are the kind of people Prabhupada converted into devotees. Slowly, everyone in the neighborhood, started getting curious and started visiting Prabhupada, attending classes. And the old people who were, Prabhupada, wherever Prabhupada lived in previous places, they also started coming and they also started attending classes. And this place where you can see, the where the temple, first temple came up, it was actually on a very busy street. We had petrol pump, there was a laundry shop, and basically a highly, extremely busy street with a lot of sounds and noises, very congested place. And when Prabhupada would give classes, he will not let the door of the temple remain closed. Because he will get disturbed, but he will feel if the door is closed, then people will not come in. He always wanted the door to remain open. So I think its time is up. We won't be able to continue now. We'll take it up in the next class. If there's any question related to Prabhupada, you can ask. Other question, maybe we can have a separate Q&A sessions. So this was Prabhupada's journey till now, a journey which is full of struggles. Yet his focus is so much only on Krishna. His love and devotion to Krishna is so much that he is undisturbed even in such terrible circumstances. So this is Srila Prabhupada, from whom we are getting all this knowledge about Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, and whatever we are learning, the Hare Krishna mantra is all coming from him. So he is our first guru. Even if you don't have Diksha in ISKCON, it's fine because Prabhupada is guru for all of us. So it is very important that when you do your chanting, you must remember Srila Prabhupada. Okay? So only questions related to Prabhupada. Otherwise, we can have a separate Q&A session.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you. What
Hare
a
Krishna.
difficult uh, situation and difficult time which he had. Hmm. So Mataji, the Kala Mataji is saying, Krishna 1000 souls, and there's some rule 1000 souls, and Vishnu has 3 crore souls. There is some rule like that. Ascension, the souls after death, 1000. There is some limit like this, Mataji, 1000 souls only, and Vishnu
Where?
has crore.
I haven't understood the question actually.
All souls don't go to Krishna, Mataji. There's only 1000 souls
Yes.
like that.
No, 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 no. There's no count of numbers. Only those who go to Krishna who become perfect. Perfect means no other desire. We have no other desire than Krishna. Like in a day, we have so many desires, but only those who go back to Krishna means they have no other desire than wanting Krishna. So, and only those people go back to, but there is no restriction on the numbers. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Mataji, in New York, when theft happened twice, and he was searching, and also had to speak with homeless awareness center with drug addicts and people. Then some people, Carl helped, and Carl was a good person, right?
Right.
Carl helped. Hare Krishna temple, what the glass temple which we saw. how many years were they there?
In that, the first temple.
Yes.
So Prabhupada started that, and then, he started, when the devotees increased, he started giving Diksha. And when those people got Diksha, he asked them to move out of New York and start making more centers. So Prabhupada would go wherever the new center will come up. So Prabhupada would not stay at one place. Wherever the new center will come, he'll go there and preach. Because he was a sannyasi, he did not had any special, uh, you know, thing like that. I will just stay here only. So wherever new center will come up, Prabhupada would move there. And this place is still there. If somebody happens to go to New York, they can still see this place. This first temple is still there. This is still there.
How's the ISKCON preaching and the prevalence there in America, Mataji?
Yeah, now it is much stronger. Like, I think Americans are better in Krishna consciousness than many of the Indians. They are much better devotees than what we have in India. Because in India we have so many gods and goddesses, no? But there in America they have only Krishna. They know only Krishna. So their faith in Krishna is very strong, and they worship like how a Brahmin will worship. That is how they follow the rules so strictly. In India, they don't follow so nicely. They are better devotees in America than in India. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
It was very touching, Mataji. Uh, and yeah, it is true actually. In US, the culture is different, and also, so there are no shops. So I'm sorry, Mataji. She's in America right now, so she's saying, I see that's a very different kind of a situation. No shops, no rice, and there are groups, ISKCON, and there is good sign language also. But long time back, there wouldn't have been anything, the kind of things which Prabhupada would have wanted. Now, actually, now they have Hindu shops and all of that, Indian food and all of that are there.
Yeah, yeah. Now it is much, much developed.
Hmm. Yeah, I told her there are two more people. If you can just quickly ask this. Mataji, she would want to go visit the New York temple. If you could send the address.
Address? Yes, I'll send it.
Okay. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Hare Krishna. Namaskar. So David, that person, Mataji, when he had gotten crazy due to the drug, and then Prabhupada ran away. So Mataji, then he ran away. He escaped, and from there, how much time was it till the time he found this space, Mataji?
So I was reading this book 2 days back. Some distance. I'm not sure how many kilometers, but
Distance,
these
not a
people
distance, Mataji. How much time? How many days did it take for him to get that place
finally,
from the
I think
event which happened
I
from
think
it?
within a month or so, because see, Prabhupada, this new place that he found was almost close to 1 year when he was in America. He reached there in 65, and this is almost 66, 1966. So when Prabhupada, found this new center, it was almost 1 year. So I think so much of detail is not given, but I think when Prabhupada left this place from David and went to Carl, so I think in couple of weeks, I think they were able to find him a new place. That timing detail is not there in the book. I couldn't read when I was reading. I couldn't find exact timing, but I think it could have happened within a couple of weeks or maybe not even a month. I think just couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Namaskar.
Hare Krishna.
So it says he has two questions. Saturday, what time, Mataji? You said there's class. Will it be on Zoom?
When did I say Saturday was class?
You said, Mataji, the story is left now halfway, right? You said you're gonna have this story again. Did you say it was Saturday or when? Sunday.
No, no, whenever we have a next Zoom, whenever we have the next class, as I said, this month is little difficult for me to do it on Saturday, Sunday. So most likely I'll discuss with Saurabh and fix up a date, maybe next Thursday or something, Wednesday, Thursday. But not the weekend, not Saturday, Sunday. This is a little tight month. I'm traveling. So maybe next week, some of the weekday, I will let you know.
Okay. And the second thing is, Mataji, you were saying A, David, David Allen. Huh? Hi, Mataji, can we know a little more about David Allen? He's saying.
No, that's all. That's all is what is referenced in the book. Nothing much. We are also dependent on these books that has been written by Prabhupada's disciples. So I don't have more information than this. Hare Krishna. We can take the next question. Uma is the last one, I think. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhupada Mataji, in the US and everyone, they are doing a fast for Prabhupada. Shankaracharya Mataji, no fast for
Yeah.
him.
Sorry, I didn't understand the question. Shankaracharya?
Mataji, no fast. So for Prabhupada, there's so many fast and all the world, everybody. But since Shankaracharya also, no fasts for him.
Because Shankaracharya's philosophy was different, so we don't consider him to be part of his con. Shankaracharya preached that Krishna is not there. We believe in Krishna's presence. He doesn't believe in Krishna as supreme. So his philosophy is very different, and we don't believe in his philosophy. This Dr. Mishra was actually teaching Shankaracharya's philosophy only. I mentioned one Dr. Mishra, right, in the story. He was teaching philosophy of Shankaracharya only. That God is not no person. It's not a person. God is just light. God is within us. So in ISKCON, we believe in Krishna as supreme, and that Krishna is a person. So they don't believe in philosophy of Krishna. So we don't fast for Shankaracharya. Thank you so much. Hare
I just
Krishna.
was thinking about it, Mataji, different
Yes.
gurus and all that. No, that's
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we'll see you not on this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, not no class. I'll get in touch, maybe Wednesday, Thursday, whenever I'm back, I'm traveling. So we'll catch up and we'll continue this class on Srila Prabhupada. Sorry, I'm not able to upload the recordings, being very busy. So I'll do them together probably next week when I come back. Right? So thank you so much for joining. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Saurav. Thank you, everyone.